Samnona mwana huyu takadana tiri vaviri pasina vamwe vaya chidzividzo chedu hatichikanganwe nekuti pane shanje. Samnona mwana huyu takadana tiri vaviri pasina vamwe vaya chidzividzo chedu hatichikanganwe nekuti pane shanje. Mumoyo mawo sango vasitsambe havaside zvinovashungurudza moyo havasiri patakadanana kuti ndezvipi zvatakadzidzirana. Mumoyo mawo sango vasitsambe havaside zvinovashungurudza moyo havasiri patakadanana kuti ndezvipi zvatakadzidzirana. Oh mama, saka ndati musarwadziwe moyo nerudo rwedu ini naye. Dai muri vamwe maitofara vamwe veduwo vasanganiswa. Saka ndati musarwadziwe moyo nerudo rwedu ini naye. Dai muri vamwe maitofara vamwe veduwo vasanganiswa. Zvimwe vamwe vangagona kuziva shamwari dzedu ndiudzeiwa kuti musvike pamakasvika pa vamwe veduwo vakasvika sei. Zvimwe vamwe vangagona kuziva shamwari dzedu ndiudzeiwa kuti musvike pamakasvika pa vamwe veduwo makasvika sei.
Good afternoon, and this is the Smoke That Thunders Off Air. And today we have two very special guests, but they're coming as one. They're coming as a couple. And the first half of this couple is Emmanuel, and he is a content creator, has a YouTube channel, he has a TikTok account, and also you can find him on Instagram. But then for the statistics, we'll use his TikTok numbers, which is he has Tafazo Speaks, which has 36,400 followers and counting. And he has Tafazo Emmanuel with 17,100 followers and counting. And together with his girlfriend, they also have a, not necessarily a couples account, but then an account where they post couples content, be it comedy, be it sketches. And it's called Niela with 3,421 followers. So welcome, Tafazo.
Thank you for having me.
We are very happy to have you. And the other half of this couple is Miss Lorraine, and she is the founder of NC Cakes. We actually talked to her during the weekend. She started doing cakes in Zim. So she's done it both in Zim and in Poland. And she is also in a drama series with a friend of the show, Mr. Talent Films. And she also creates content, as I mentioned earlier, with Tafadzwa. And welcome,
Thank
Lorraine.
you so much for having us today. And we're happy to be here as well.
Trust me, the happiness is mirrored. And so we'll start with the first question. How did you guys meet? Any one of you guys can tell us.
Do you want to take this one or I should?
No, you can.
Okay, so the first time we spoke, it was on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she sent me a message. I was already in Poland and she was in Zimbabwe. Mm-hmm. And she wanted to apply to start studying here in Poland.
Mm-hmm.
So a friend of hers, or a sister, I don't remember, recommended me as the person that she should contact, as a trusted person that she should contact.
As an older brother.
Exactly, as an older brother. It seems like they wanted to put me in the brother zone already. So she contacted me and we started talking, and then eventually she managed to come to Poland. And then when she came here, of course, she had people that she knew, but I already had like a head start.
Oh, yeah, you already had an advantage.
Yes, I already had an advantage.
Yeah.
So I just took advantage of that, and then like I started visiting her because, of course, you have to show her around, right?
Yeah.
And you have to take her to the museums and look like the cool guy, you know.
Could I run this city?
I run this city, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, when you come to a country like Poland, even the small things that you do, to someone who's new here, it seems like you've done a lot of big things. I used to take advantage of that, because even going to some of the museums that are not there in Zimbabwe, like some of the these museums where you have like tricks and the illusions,
the
and
illusions,
stuff like that. Exactly. It's something that people find interesting, and when you are here for a long time, then you get to know that it's just something that you do. But to someone who's new, it seems like you would have spent a lot of money, and I would also use the student ID, get half the price, but they don't know that yet. So
you had an unfair advantage.
But then you don't tell them that, you know.
As the famous Shona saying goes, Rume, Muruma singanyepe harore.
Exactly.
No, you use that very well. And let's hear your side of the story, Lorraine. You know, you're a young girl. Yeah, you live in Zimbabwe. Did you stay in Harare or you stayed in a different city?
Harare.
So you're coming from a big city. You come to Warsaw. What's your first impression?
My first impression coming here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I had my sister already here, so
lovely.
I felt comfortable that way, and I was already talking to him, like from Zim, so I didn't feel lonely in such a way. And then I have a cousin in Lublin.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it was much easier for me, and if I needed help, I would just call him or tell my sister. And my sister...
Who did you call first, him or your sister? Who was the first call?
Okay, so my sister is married, so I would resort to calling him in most cases.
Did you want to disturb?
Yeah, it's still a young couple. So I would actually call him, and most of the times he was always available to help.
Obviously, he was available.
Obviously, I had to make myself available,
Yeah.
And how long have you guys been dating? Because for me, it seemed like it's forever, From what I've seen, how long have you guys been dating?
It's been 2 years now.
2 years, wow. That's 11 months, 1 year more than the average Polish relationship. And you guys start dating. What were the first days like? Because, she was relatively new in Poland. You had some experience of Poland. What were the first days like? I'll start with Lorraine first, so that your opinion second.
Okay, so we didn't start dating the first time I came here in Poland.
Okay.
So we were more like friends, and I had sort of like brothers on him for the first few months. So we had to take maybe about 8 months. We started dating we started like the talking stage around September. Yes. But this whole time we were more like friends. Sister, brother, I don't know how to to say it. Yeah. But anyways, we were still like friends, talking and stuff. Then in September we started spending time, like more time together. Then that's when it started. So he was taking me out, and I started to discover that like I actually like this guy, and he had, I would say, a lot of qualities that I wanted in like a boyfriend.
Okay.
And yeah.
So when was the specific time when the brother became the boyfriend? Is there like a specific day where you're just like, today he's changed your mind?
Well, I'll leave that to Emmanuel. I want him to answer this one.
What's your opinion? What's your side of the story?
I think this already sounds like a success story because not a lot of people manage to come out of the brother zone.
Yeah, true.
Because the brother zone is way deeper compared to even the friend zone. Because if you're now being categorized as a brother, you can never imagine dating your own brother or your own sister.
It's not to say me.
So I think I should write a book, title it From Brother Zone to Boyfriend, So,
but on the brother zone, sorry to interrupt you, on the brother zone, what gave you the patience? Because if you like a girl and she puts you in the brother zone, most guys were like, okay, Zadako. Let's move on to the next girl. What gave you that patience to like, you know what, this is the woman I want. I'm gonna stay here until this situation changes?
Well, I would say the thing that helped the most was when we first met, we never dated, right? And we didn't have that idea that maybe we would one day date. Because what actually happened was after a few months, I got into a new relationship. She also got into a different relationship.
Oh, damn.
Right? So she was in a relationship, I was in a relationship.
Oh,
but
damn.
we always talked. So, when you're talking with someone and you don't even have this idea of we'll date for sometime in the future, you are open to that person and you get to, they get to see your true self. Right? But if I meet someone today and let's say we go on a date, it's like a performance because you want the other person to see the best of you.
Yeah.
You hide some other parts of yourself. So the fact that I was in a different relationship and she was also in a relationship made it easy for us to just reveal our true selves to each other. You get to know the good side and the bad side, the side that people see on Instagram and the other side that never gets published. You get it? So I think that also made it easy for us to know if we were compatible or not. So it started as a friendship and then it later on developed into a relationship. So there was no pressure of trying to give ourselves time so that we start dating or what. When both of our relationships ended, that's when we then started dating.
Immediately after?
Not immediately after. No.
So we can say your love was boiled, not fried.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was a process, not an instant. And this is to both of you, not particularly about the relationship. What's the biggest difference between dating in Poland and dating in Zim? You already mentioned earlier, Kuti, there are more things to do here, In Zim, all you can do is just eat or go out. There's no middle ground. So what do you say is the biggest difference between dating in Zimbabwe and in Poland?
I would say the biggest difference is that, as you have mentioned, of course, there's not a lot of activity. I don't know about now because it's been a long time since I've been in Zim, right? But also here, people now have the freedom, to go out, freedom to do a lot of things. So that alone can also give you an idea of how much someone wants to dedicate their time to you. Because in Zim, it's not always easy. Because let's say someone is living with their own parents, and maybe some parents are strict, and you only go out if you have something really important that you need to do outside. Otherwise, you have to stay indoors, especially for the
girls, yeah.
Right. But now, when she's here, and you know that maybe she's unemployed, for example, she only goes to school, and no one goes to school every day or even on the weekends.
Yeah.
And if you try to, let's say, meet up with this person and they tell you something like, I'm a busy girl, that already is a hint.
Yeah.
Because no one is ever busy, especially here in Poland.
Yeah, that's true.
You get it? So those are some of the things that are a bit different in my opinion.
In your opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. So sort of like the freedom aspect. And would you agree, Lorraine, that obviously you as a girl child, there's this thing, in Zim, and it's a bad joke. The pretty girls in Zim, tenga from 4 to 4:30.
Exactly.
Then they come back. You never see them. You never see them. And they always have the biggest Jura holes. They always have the biggest gates.
And they have dogs.
And they have dogs. And they have an older brother, a minimum of one.
Exactly.
So now, for a girl like yourself, do you feel the same, that you've got the freedom? Yeah? And what other differences have you noticed between dating in Zim and dating in Poland?
In Poland. Well, yes, I agree with the freedom part, because here you have like more time with like the person that you're dating, and here there's more exposure, should I say. At home, it's not most of us that work at home, because the opportunity is it's less in Zimbabwe. Then here you get to go to work, you get to get money sometimes, so you can do a lot of things together. And I feel like at home, you can't really talk about some things. Like, you can't talk about work. You can't talk about future things when you're not even working, per se. So I would say here you are subjected to, like, the life in the future. And when you're dating, you get to really know a person, like, that they're working, they can spare time for me, stuff like that. So I feel like here there is exposure, and I would say things are much cheaper when you're working. So in Zim, if you noticed, it's not a lot of people that can go out a lot of times because of the like economic situation. But here, since some people are working, or you can do a side gig, so you guys can get to go out like to movies, do stuff. You can do a lot of things. So yeah, I would say dating in Poland is more of an advantage than back at home.
Yeah, I would also agree, yes.
And also adding on to what she said, you find out that people are getting employed here. So you can find yourself in a relationship where your girlfriend is also working and you are working, right? So there's this general perception that a lot of guys have that if you have money, then it's easy for you to get a girl, right? But then what if the girl already has their own money?
Yeah.
Then you can't impress the girl by just having money, because she's also employed. So now you have to find other ways of trying to connect to a person, not by just buying gifts or taking her out, because she can do all that on her own. So now you have to find new methods or different approach to a relationship.
And I think I actually say this good example about Polish fathers, right? So, in Zim, for you to be a good father, you just have to financially provide.
Exactly.
But I know he pays the school fees, he makes sure you're fed.
Yes.
Yeah, the best father, even if chiro every day, even if your father like beats you guys every day, he's a good father because you're going to school.
Yeah.
But if you see Polish fathers, you can see a Polish father on Saturday, 12 p.m. he's walking with his children in the park.
Exactly. Or they're riding a bicycle.
They're riding a bicycle together. I think fatherhood in Poland has made us, maybe as African men, look at it and say, guys, why not actually do it as much as we can?
Because we always have this perception that the father has to be feared.
Yeah.
The father will only come back at night from work and demand food. And you send children to go to sleep or ask them if they did their homework. But there's not time for the father to children relationship where they just spend time.
Yeah, like that bonding, intentional time.
Yes.
And actually talking about spending time together, we live in the world of social media, which you guys are also part of.
Yeah.
And in when it comes to social media, there's a lot of pressures that come with that. Some relationship, there's a lot of relationship content. Let me put it that way.
Yes.
And there are, when you see like the proposals or even the dates or even the expectations that are on both genders, actually, men are expecting women to be up there, women are expecting men to be up there, and we're seeing this constantly.
Yes.
How do you guys manage being down to earth as a unit, not as people, but then as a unit? Okay, we're dating and we're going at this speed. We don't care how fast everyone else is going. This is our speed. How do you guys handle that?
Yeah, first of all, since we are already people who are on social media, we know that not everything that you see on social media is a reflection of the people behind the scenes. Right? A lot of people are actors. A lot of people, you don't know how people are getting the money that they are using to buy all those things that they have on social media. So I think the best way we approach it is to be realistic with ourselves. And if we want to look at the finances, we just understand this is where we are, this is what we can afford, this is what we don't afford. If we afford to do something, we'll do it. If we can't, then we don't. But then we have to be realistic with ourselves. And since we have been on social media, we also like we have that advantage of people seeing us the way we see other people. Right? So we have that understanding that this person is this perception of me, but then this is not really true when I look at my life. Right? Like on social media, someone looks at your account. Let's say you've already mentioned I have around 36,000.
36,000,
right?
yeah.
Just by the number of followers I have, someone already has a perception of maybe what I'm earning or the type of life I live.
Yeah.
But then I know what I earn. I know the type of life, and their expectations is up there, and compared to my life, the reality it's not the same.
It's not the same.
So with that understanding of also being on the other side of social media, now when I see other people, other content creators, I then understand that, okay, this is what they've done, but maybe, let's say if they are spending this much, maybe it's their lifetime savings. They've been waiting for this day. Or it's just that they have a brand deal. Yeah. Some of these people have brand deals. They just don't show that.
They won't tell you that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They just show you the lifestyle, but they don't show you the brand deals. So being on social media also helped us understand.
Yes. Like that the pressures that come with that.
Exactly.
And Lorraine, would you agree?
Yes, I would agree to like what he said per se. And like our time on social media, we've met a lot of like people who are doing content, even people with 71 million followers. We've interacted with those people, and you actually see they're just normal people like us. They're also living the same life that we're living. So I would say it's now a matter of maybe a person's character or something along those lines. Because if we just go with the flow that you have to be content with what you have. Because most of these people, let's be honest, some people are promoting brands, so they'll just show houses decorated with balloons so that they attract like customers to come and buy and stuff. So people won't understand.
They won't understand exactly like what it takes and what they're actually sacrificing for that to happen.
Exactly. I would give an example of maybe those people who sell designer bags, right?
Okay, yeah.
So some people would be advertising the brand on social media, and then someone sees it, and then they'll feel like maybe these things are coming straight from the store. But some people like actually get this stuff from Turkey, China. So you like viewing the content on TikTok, you're just going to say, Yes, exactly. So I feel like people just have to be content, and you have to show people your real life.
Your real life.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm going to go to a break, and then after the break, I'm going to tell you guys one thing I love about you, about each of you. So there's one thing I love about you in this relationship. There's one thing I love about Emmanuel in this relationship. And then I'm going to ask you guys why you do those things, because I want to know why. So yeah, the song is Mwana Chiedza by the late, great Sam Mutukudzi.
Uyu mwana chiedza murima wanika asimuzina kuzivana injere shoma sekuziva pangu musina kudanana zere dota kujairira rinosarira ndapota musanyengedzane kamurudo rwenyu uyu mwana chiedza kani murima wanika uyu mwana chiedza murima wanika musina kuzivana injere shoma sekuziva pangu musina kudanana zere dota kujairira rinosarira ndapota musanyengedzane kamurudo rwenyu murima wanika murima wani murima wani uyu mwana chiedza kani murima wanikani waro naiya mai
And we're back. That was Mwana Chiedza by the late, great Sam Tukuzi. So as I promised before the break, there's one thing, not just one thing, but then I've picked out one thing that I love about each half of the couple. And as the English saying goes, ladies first. And I think what I love about Lorraine, which will lead us to a specific topic that I would want to touch on, is she posts a man confidently. We all know who your boyfriend is. For some girls, they've had boyfriends for 3 years. We've only seen one finger. That's all we have seen. I actually saw a proposal post from a good friend of mine, and we still don't know who the guy is. We saw this half, we saw this half, we saw this, but we never saw him. And you post him, post chayo, not like the story.
Not story, not words.
And I wanna ask this question in two parts. First question, have you always been like someone who just posts their man confidently and proudly? And second of all, why do you think ladies are hiding their boyfriends or their men?
Okay, so to answer your first question, Emmanuel is the first guy that I've ever posted on my social media.
Oh, wow.
Or WhatsApp, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, he's the first guy I've ever posted.
He's your first public boyfriend on all social media.
Yes, exactly. Well, for me, like for other girls, I would put a reason of maybe I would say some people are not yet on that level.
Okay.
Should I say maybe you're not really on that level of trusting your person to just put them out there. No, at least you have to face some stuff, some challenges. And so some people feel like if they've passed through a lot of challenges and if you now feel comfortable, you feel like a certain way with your heart to either post the person or not. So I feel like it's a matter of trust. And there's this other belief that girls like believe in, like per se, if you post your person, like other girls will start DMing like the guy, or they'll start talking to the guy. So, And some people believe if you post your guy, you attract like bad luck. I don't know how far true that is.
Okay.
So for me, I feel like it's mainly an issue of trusting the person.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long did it take for you to post him? Like the first time, like you posted him, like, bah!
I think it was after 8 months.
8 months, yo.
Of friendship, not
of
in
friendship.
the relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, like he posted him as your boyfriend, as the man in your life. When you guys started dating, when was the first time you were like, bah? When the first time you released him to the world?
It was after a month.
After a month. Oh, wow. First guy after a month. Yeah, now you need to write a book, man.
I need to write a book.
Numbers are good. These are very good numbers. And for Emmanuel, the thing that I love about you is I don't always talk to people. I don't always message people, but I always watch their stories. My live and I'm watching everyone's story. And anytime she posts about a cake business, you're the first person to repost. And it's not even good to, sometimes you can tell, no, reposter. Yours, it feels natural. It's like instant. She posts, you post. We don't even know who posted first. So I want to ask you, she obviously has a business and she also has a lot of passions and a lot of things that she does. When did you become this ultra supportive boyfriend? Was it something that you always had, or something in her brought out that man in you?
Well, the funny thing is, she used to do a cake business in Zim.
In Zim, yeah.
But she didn't want to start doing it here in Poland, right? But then I knew that she showed me all the cakes that she has done in Zimbabwe. Mm-hmm. And I was like, these are very good cakes. Why can't you just do it also here in Poland? And then she was overthinking it. And so like all the ingredients that I'm used to are in Zimbabwe, all the creams and stuff. And I was like, look, see, here in Poland, people make cakes. Mm-hmm. People bake cakes. Why can't you just bake a cake with the ingredients that are found here in Poland? And she was overthinking it. So I actually said to her, just do one cake and we sell it. If it doesn't work, we stop. If it works, then you continue. So I would say I played a very big role into making her start baking cakes.
This is flashing. Look at her. So you're the one who basically inspired her to. You were that extra push she needed at that time.
Yes.
Oh wow!
I had to push her to start doing it in Poland because she thought that maybe it will affect the quality of her cakes, and she wanted to maintain the brand. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, it's fine. If you think it's not going to work, let's just try just one cake, and then we sell it. If the person who buys it doesn't like it, then we stop. We forget about it. And then the person liked it, and then that's how she started.
Oh, and the reason why I love you saying that is one thing that I've recently said is the problem with people's relationships these days, or dating in general, is if I ask, for example, Munashe, he's single. What do you want in a girl? He would describe to me the things he wants, but he will never tell me. Okay, not Munashe per se, but then any other guy or any other girl, they'll tell me what they want, but they'll never tell me what they are willing to give.
Exactly.
And in your example, this is you given before you've even taken anything. And which takes me to the next question, which is, why does your relationship work? Besides obviously the sacrificing and also you guys being brother and sister at a particular time, what makes it work? What are, like, if you could say like a few things that make your relationship specifically work? Because first of all, you guys have different personalities. I've had the pleasure of like being at the same events as you guys. You guys have different personalities. You know, when Tafaza gets into a room, you immediately finds a friend. Lorraine,
yes.
I was with her last week and I'll say a report. She only talked when they talked. When people talked, she talked, but she never started the conversations. But these are two different personalities and two different characters. So how do you guys meet in the middle to have one conjoined unit?
Well, I would say, in relationships, it's more than just knowing someone's favorite food, someone's favorite color. You have to go deep. So, for example, I can let's say we're in a room, right? And then let's say I see her talk to other people, smiling and everything. But am I able to see beyond the smile that she's not okay or she's not comfortable in that room? You see, that kind of understanding of a person is something that comes not by just meeting and going for dates, meeting and going for movies, and also being able to explain what makes you feel heard, what makes you feel loved, for example. And I'm a Christian, and there's this verse that I like. It says, men love your wives, but women respect your husbands. Right? I love it because it really tells me like a good foundation of what should happen in a relationship. Because women want to be loved, but for men also want to be loved, but they want to be respected. They interpret love in the form of respect. You get it? So I had to make that clear to her, that even if you tell me you love me, I won't even believe it until I see a level of respect that I like.
And by respect, what do you mean by respect? Like for you, how do you receive respect? What does she need to do for you to feel respected? If you're comfortable sharing a few examples.
Of course, I can share some examples. Okay, which one can I start with?
Or maybe she can tell us.
No, okay, I'll say this. You know this ego that we all have as men, right? I remember this one day we were just sitting and I was explaining a few things to her, and I was like, personally, I don't like a girl who seems like she's too available.
Okay.
Right? I don't want you to be the first girl someone thinks of when they want to go for some chills.
Okay.
I don't want you to be the first girl that someone thinks of when they want to go out.
Okay.
Right? I want you to be that type of girl that when people see you, they come to me and ask, how did you even manage to talk to this girl? How did she manage to even open up to you? Right? Someone who's just not available to everyone.
Who's slightly intimidating.
But I'm not saying don't talk to people. Right? So we had to I had to find a way to explain that to her. But it's not like she was already doing it, but I just had to say it before anything else happened.
So you sort of mentioned it before you guys even started dating, or maybe close to it, or maybe early in the relationship.
We had already started dating.
Okay. So you said it probably early in the relationship.
Yeah, but I said it early so that I see that if she respects this, then also there's a form of respect that she has for me, right? Because there are a lot of people, there are a lot of girls who say, "Andu zero zokuita."
Yeah, andu zero.
And I don't like that type of attitude, because we have to communicate. I have to do something that makes you feel comfortable, and you have to do something that makes me feel comfortable.
Okay. And you mentioned that men need to feel respected and women need to feel loved, right?
Yes.
How do you feel loved?
Well, I'll start with, okay, I feel loved in many different types of way. Like the way he takes care of me when I'm not feeling well.
Oh.
The way he's able to recognize that I'm not feeling comfortable in a place.
Okay.
For example, I'm not someone who's, as you mentioned last week, I'm not someone who's quick to open up in a room, or I can't say I'm friendly, but I need time to talk to everyone or to get to be used to the environment.
Okay.
So per se, I would say the way he notices that I'm in trouble, because sometimes some people cannot notice when I need help or something like that. So he's quick to notice. And the way he advises me in terms of my business, because sometimes, there are those days.
Yeah.
So I go to him, then I tell him the story, A, B, C, D, then he's there to advise me. So basically, I feel loved, and gifts as well. Many ladies.
Money helps.
Many ladies will support that. So he does a lot of things for me, like just taking a walk sometimes, going out. Yeah. I would say, and when I need help, he's there to help me. Yeah.
Okay, so he holds your hand. through it all. No, that's
Yes,
fantastic.
exactly.
And the next question is specifically for Emmanuel. As you mentioned earlier, you have tons of followers on TikTok, and from what I saw, you talk about real life issues.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like even some of my friends from Zim, post you, which I'm like, we have a celebrity. What are we? Like, it's so crazy. And you are always usually given not necessarily life advice, but then you give your opinions, which people would take as advice. And I think if I was doing that, my ego would be here. But I'm telling everyone what to do, and people are listening to me. How do you still have the ability to go to your girlfriend and say, hey, Abba baby, I'm wrong? And you're the guy who's giving people advice. You're basically, for lack of a better word, our therapist. Because I'm a therapist. You're actually helping people, and we commend you for that. And so how do you then still have the humility to come out, hey, Abandinda Baiza?
Well, that thing is very difficult for me to do.
Okay.
even as someone who's seen as a therapist or something, it's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And many a time she's actually the one who comes, even if when I'm the one who's wrong.
Okay.
Right? So for me, it's like I'm that person who, let's say I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just keep quiet. Right?
Okay.
I keep quiet. And I need time to settle and convince myself that I need to go and apologize. But before I even go to apologize, she comes and talks to me. So even if I try to explain that I was planning on coming, right? But I had to negotiate with my ego.
It was in the plans. It was coming.
Plans.
Yeah.
Then she was like, I don't believe that, because if you wanted, you would have already done it already.
So she meets you halfway.
She meets me halfway, exactly.
Oh, wow, that's.
But then even if after we speak, I try to make it up to her. Just, when you say sorry, you also have to leave it. I believe you have to, like, sorry is not just a word that you have to say. It's also a lifestyle.
Yeah,
if you're sorry about something, then you need to show it by your actions that you're sorry about something.
Oh, and that's very, I think that's very honest, because I would have lied on. I'm like, I do what I tell you guys to do. And this one is for Lorraine. He obviously, like I mentioned, he does like life situations, and he's very wise. Like, the things he says are very, very wise. I think the last video that I saw, because I follow your stuff on Facebook, I'm not really on TikTok.
Okay.
This TikTok I'm like from our research, not necessarily from me viewing TikTok. And I think the last video I watched from you was I'll quote it verbatim, munanonetsa munhu ekuti ndizozvandiri. Like, Jesus and Diri, exactly. And and obviously you've also owed up that sometimes it's not what it is. Sometimes I struggle to say sorry. So how do you separate the Emmanuel we get on TikTok, on Facebook, the wise old guy, or not old, but then the wise guy, and Emmanuel, your boyfriend? I don't know my jokes. I don't know say how. How do you differentiate between the two? We have this person publicly and this person behind the curtains.
Well, I would love to say that there is no difference from my own perspective.
Okay.
The way he is when he advises people is normally the way he is like every other time. Just the fact that when he's with me, he can't be advising me the whole day.
He can't be giving you advice.
Yeah, mostly I feel like what he advises people or what he preaches out there is exactly how he lives his life every day. So yeah, I wouldn't say there's a difference, honestly. Yeah.
And yes.
And also, like, the fun fact is, some of those advices are from here.
Okay.
Sometimes she's like, I was at work and I was thinking about this. Can you make a video about this? She gives me a lot of different ideas. So most of the ideas that I then make videos of, are her ideas. Right? And most of the times when I'm making these videos, she's the one behind the camera. And she's like, I don't like the way you say this. Can you start again? She's like directing.
She's your director.
Exactly.
So it's a partnership.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like a partnership.
And that's talking about the partnership, actually, because I I'll be honest, I already knew a bit of your love story because there's a time, I think a couple of weeks ago, you guys posted like a link on how you guys met and everything.
Yeah.
Are we expecting any content from you guys as a duo? Because obviously you do have the TikTok account, very, very funny videos.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite videos is you are the husband, no, not the husband, but then the boyfriend, but you have a wife, and then she's the side chick, and then you're like, and then she's like, do you love me? Like, yes, I love you. Then she says, how about your wife? Then you say, my wife doesn't love you, which I find very, very hilarious. So are we expecting more content from you guys, or you're gonna just keep putting it on TikTok? Are we gonna have like a podcast soon on relationships, or?
Yeah, definitely. It's something that we are working on.
Oh, wow.
Something that we are working on. We need to find ways to plan, because one thing that also happened is when my TikTok blew up, right, we kind of neglected our TikTok. Right, because we were now focusing on this one. And I had a lot of people who were coming to me even with their problems, and they were asking advice. And some of these guys are already married.
Oh, wow.
Get it? And they'll be like, this thing that you're talking about, my husband is exactly like this. So how do I do this? How do I do this? And some of these things, I had to find other people who are married to give me advice to then
parlay it. Yeah,
exactly, because it's a situation where you know that if someone trusts you and then you give them the wrong advice, then it might end up costing their marriage. So I didn't want that on me. But we had a lot of people who were coming in on that other TikTok. So we kind of neglected our own, but we have plans to
grow.
Yes.
And you actually touched on something very important there on how intimate your line of content creation is, because you talk about real life issues, and I would say probably, as a rough estimate, probably most of your audience is female. If I might be wrong, but then I think obviously it probably leans more on the female side. How does it feel when women are bombing his TikTok inbox and saying, so? How does it feel as the woman of the house? Sharing your men to all these women. Okay. Advice-wise, of course, not in any other way.
Okay, I'll be honest about this.
Yeah.
At first, I felt comfortable because I was like, you're good at this thing, do it. I convinced him. Then, midway along the lines, I felt some type of way, honestly. Certainly when some scenario happened. But then it was not... I felt like I was overreacting, but I felt like... Then I decided to understand that this is what he's doing. People will come. People will want to like open up and stuff. So I got used to it. It was just a matter of like adjusting. Yes. So eventually, I became comfortable with it. Because most of these people are coming for help, not to do A, B, C, D, and E. Yeah. From time to time, yes, you get those type of messages, but then he's a good person. Yeah. Like he has a good character, so he will just make sure that the lines are straight.
Oh, fantastic. I can understand how it is, because obviously my question wasn't about him because I know as a human, it's a great human, but then still that palette of messages. If you're doing the same and there were like 100 guys in your inbox saying, Lorraine, the best road is easy. Not even that you'd do anything, but just that thought of like, hey, so Papa 100, there's no suspicious one. So that's why I had to ask that. But I think one thing we can take from this interview in general is you guys have loved each other by meeting each other in the middle. So publicly, like I said, Emmanuel is the social guy. He gets in the room, he's speaking to everyone, high fives. Lorraine is different. But then when Emmanuel's talking to all these people in the room, in his hand is his girlfriend, and they walk together, and he allows her to be part of that world. And then at home, Emmanuel has said a 3-minute video on be flexible mentally. Usangoziti ndizo zvandiri. Iyavazita izozo. She comes, meets you in the middle, says, no, I know kuti ndiwo akori wrong, but sorry. Yeah, Tsakane Pakat, which I find beautiful because, you know, like I said, I think the biggest problem in relationships right now is everyone wants to take but not give. And you guys are giving each other. You know, you helped us start a business. You're the lady who holds the camera and the lights for him to shine. And then he does the same when you bake the cake. So on behalf of the Zimbabwean community, as the unelected mayor, I will say, but thank you. We thank you guys for what you're doing and also displaying your love publicly. And well, to finish off, is there anything you guys would want to say? Any advice? Probably I'll start with Lorraine because I know Emmanuel, probably in 2 days, you advise us on something else. So Lorraine, any last words?
Yeah, I feel like there's something that we didn't include as well. But basically what's making our relationship work is prayer as well. We pray together. We go to church together when we can. So I would say people out there want to start building a relationship. Put God as your foundation of the relationship. Communicate well and meeting your partner like halfway, understanding each other basically, and giving time to really know the person that you're dating, to understand the person, so that in such way, like when they mess up things, you understand A, B, C, D, and E. So personally, I would say prayer, communicate, and understand your partner.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. And Emmanuel?
Yeah, I'll just want to say, you know, you've asked before, you asked here about why girls don't post their boyfriends and stuff. You know, generally there's this idea that people think if you don't post anything, it means you are being private. Right? People think, I want to be private, so I don't post. I don't do anything. My account is on private. But I have a different opinion about that. I think even if your account is public, you can still be private. Even if you post every day, you can still be private. So privacy is mainly about what you want people to see, they can see. What you don't want them to see, they won't see. That's basically privacy. Okay. Right? So even if my account is public, it means everything that's there, I want people to see.
To see, yeah.
Right? What I don't want people to see, I simply don't post.
Oh.
Right? So there's a difference because I've seen a lot of people say, why is your account not on private? Everyone can see everything that you post. I was like, that's the main point. Yeah, we post on the internet because we want people to see.
Yeah.
Right? If there's something that I don't want people to see, I simply don't post.
Okay. So choosing what to keep private and what to keep public.
Exactly. That's the privacy. But then for the girls, I see she tried to defend her own gender. But I think it's mainly because maybe you just said, I've met this one girl. Yeah. She dates like she has 3 boyfriends who all have the same name. Yeah. Right? So when she posts, she doesn't post the face, but when she goes around and people ask her, what's the name of your boyfriend? She just says the name only because all of them have the same name.
They have the same name. No surnames included.
Exactly.
And I think that's the perfect way to end. Anyways, this has been The Smoke That Thunders, and we're very, very grateful for the guests we had today. We had Mr. Tafadzwa Emmanuel, and we had Miss Lorraine. Thank you guys for joining us. This was wonderful. This has been The Smoke That Thunders, and good afternoon.